Welcome to the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. Some of you may know that I'm a third-year law school student. I have not finished my law degree. I need $100,000 to finish my law degree. And why do I need $100,000? Because that's how much it costs to finish at that school. You say, well, you could go to Vegas and finish your law school at UNLV. No, I can't, because the credits will not transfer from that law school, because that is a law school in Louisiana, which is based on the Napoleonic Code. You can take the bar all over the United States, but you will not be able to pass the bar in Louisiana without taking Louisiana legal classes there, because it's based on the Napoleonic Code and the Code of Hammurabi. Now, we can take the bar elsewhere, but you have to take law school in Louisiana to have any chance of passing the bar there, unless you just happen to read hundreds of thousands of Napoleonic cases and Hammurabi cases and English common law cases, right? That being said, I am still on the hook for needing any sort of cash donations from you all. I haven't done a GoFundMe, and I hear GoFundMe takes 50% of the money anyway, so the GoFundMe wouldn't be very good, because I say I need $1,000 and GoFundMe would take half of that, and so then I'd need another GoFundMe to fix the first GoFundMe, right? Okay, so let's talk about, can the ATF knock on your door and say, let's see your guns? I need to say this. Nothing that I'm about to say is legal advice. I am not giving you legal advice. You cannot go to court and say, well, Shakaama said. The court is going to say, oh, did he? So this is not legal advice. You are not my client. I am not your lawyer. Got it? Capiche? Okay. Can the ATF knock on your door and say, let's see your gun? The answer is yes. They can knock on your door and say, let's see your gun. Shakaama is not going to say the ATF cannot knock on your door and say, let's see your guns. However, that's not the question that you need to ask. The question you need to ask is, can the ATF come to your doorstep, knock on the door, say, let's see your guns, and then say, you are required by law to show us your guns? No, they cannot do that. No more than a policeman can knock on your door and say, I want to see your guns. No more than a policeman can say, knock on your car door and say, hi, how you doing? I see that you're black. Could you step out of the car? Can't do that either. Unless the city just wants to hand you over $1 million. What's the point I'm trying to make? The ATF, outside of a court order signing a actual warrant for search and seizure that lists your name and lists the actual guns in question that they want to take a look at, this is key. It has to list your name, and it has to list the guns in question, and just those guns in question. They can't say, name, Shakaama, and what do you want to take a look at? Anything in his house. No such thing. The warrant has to be very precise. I think we went over this with the Trump warrant that literally didn't say anything. But you know, they can harass Trump all day long. I mean, and nobody's going to say anything because it's the Democrats. Here is my advice as a personal private citizen to you, a personal private citizen. You need to check with your local sheriff and see, does your local sheriff appreciate the ATF knocking on the doors of citizens in his city or county? If he does not, I would highly recommend that you put him on speed dial if he has indicated that he does not appreciate the ATF coming around harassing his beloved citizens. If you don't live where a sheriff doesn't appreciate the ATF, I would suggest that you make yourself friendly with some lawyers, because it could be that the ATF tries to force their way into your house. If they knock on your door and say, "Can we see your guns?" they are asking, number one. Two, they're asking for you to waive your constitutional rights. Shakaama is going to remind you that you have constitutional rights. No matter what the Democrats say, no matter what laws the Democrats try to pass, and in fact it is highly commendable if you enforce your constitutional rights against law enforcement or government officials who seek to disregard your constitutional rights so that you can take them to court and get yourself $1 million. Do you notice a theme here so far? I'm very fond of suing the government and getting $1 million. So, if they knock on your door and say, "Can we see your guns?" you say, "Do you have a warrant?" No? Good day, sir. I say good day. And if such time as they say, "We don't need a warrant," the hell they don't. That's about the time that you get your wife to be on the phone with the sheriff or the local police department or the lawyer and say, "There's people pretending to be government officials at my door trying to confiscate my guns. I would recommend that you show up over here to inspect them, because I do not know what an actual badge from this fake outfit actually looks like. I can't determine what it actually is. I have no idea and no expertise to determine if these are even legitimate people. They could be criminals. They seem to be armed and dangerous and wearing bulletproof vests. Could you come right away and inspect these people to make absolutely sure that they are who they say they are? They do not have a warrant of any sort of kind, so I'm assuming that they are criminals. Could you please come over immediately? Now, there was an interview with the sheriff who said, point blank, "I am the law in this state. Nobody comes and bothers my citizens. The ATF has no jurisdiction in my state. Do not bother the citizens of my state. I am the law." I don't know if you know who that is. If you live in that the sheriff's state, I commend you for having a very sound and wise sheriff. I tend to believe that a lot of sheriffs, are actually wise and do adhere to the Constitution. So much so that they will tell the legislature, "No, this law that you have just passed is unconstitutional. I am not going to put my men in harm's way by your unconstitutional law and get my men blown away because you want to pass some ridiculous unconstitutional law saying that all the policemen have to go and seize everybody's guns in the United States," which is crazy. Alright, thank you all for watching. If you could donate, I hope what I've said is of some value to you, and that you make a list of all the names and numbers and telephone numbers of the people you need to call in case the ATF shows up to your door and knocking on your door. I want to, if you're confused what is going on, the ATF has decided as an agency, not Congress, not the President, not the Supreme Court, the ATF had decided on their own to redetermine that a certain configuration of gun is now considered by the ATF to be a quote-unquote machine gun. So they are taking it upon themselves to go around and quote-unquote inspect for guns. They do not have such legal authority at all. I hope I have made you aware of this, and hopefully that you can call your sheriff or your police department or your lawyer if such people show up to your door, and possibly there could be criminals showing up to your door pretending to be ATF. And you might be one of those weird Democrats who think that they are doing the right thing to let these people inside of your house to inspect your guns when in fact they're actually true blue criminals. I'm not talking about ATF that I consider criminals. I'm talking about actual criminals showing up to your house pretending to be ATF because the ATF is going door to door and the criminals are going to score themselves some free guns. So, you need to be warned. Thank you!